right, so that was One by Asian Thug. Um, as I mentioned, I'm not that big a fan of guitar beats, but this one sounded cool to me. I liked what you did here. I sort of like the interplay between the different textures that you had in the beat, with the sort of guitar providing a stable backing for the entire beat. And there's a sort of interplay between the vocal sample and the flute sample. That all sounded really awesome to me. Is a really good concept, really good idea for the beat. I think the guitar itself, it could have used a little bit more treatment in terms of the mixing tools and how it fit with the rest of the sounds. It felt a tiny bit too dry to me. So I'm not sure whether adding reverb, a tiny bit of reverb would have helped, or maybe just EQing some of the low end so it didn't stick out as much. I just sort of think that it was a little bit too in my face, a little bit too much in the forefront. As well, I think the 808 didn't really sit well in the beat. There were times, I think there was like a transition sound that you use. I think it was like a low impact, like one of those, like a big booming sound in between the different sections of your beat. And I think there were times when you used that sound and it conflicted with the 808. So that's something you guys might want to look out for. If you're using transition sounds, these little samples in your beats to sort of create a little bit more variation, a little bit more uniqueness, make sure they don't conflict, and you will need to EQ some of those sounds out, because you'll probably find them on Splice, and like wherever you find your samples from, and you sort of throw it into your beat and you think, oh, this sounds great by itself. But you sort of need to pay attention to whether or not there are some low frequencies in there, because that can really mess your beat up. I think that's what I heard. There was a little bit of conflicting frequencies with the low end during these transition periods. And I really loved the overall variation in the beat. You sort of had that crazy section where, I don't know what you did. I think you played with one of the parameters in the actual patch of the guitar. You slowly like automated it, and it just helped make the beat a lot more interesting, where that sort of served as the variation in the beat for the first half. And then in the second half, you sort of had that reverse effect. Just a great overall job in arrangement. I think, again, since I'm not a guitar type boy, I wouldn't have thought I liked the beat as much as I did, which surprised me, because I really did like the beat, just because I appreciated your overall idea that you tried to go for, and I think it was executed well. The vocal sample was great. The flute sounded great. I just think a tiny bit of treatment for your sounds and making sure that they sit well and they sit good, or they sort of work well with the other sounds in contrast, would have served you a little bit better in terms of the guitar and the 808, and making sure those little transition noises don't conflict with anything else. But overall, man, great job. Yeah, you did it. You did it good. 808 too loud, so can't hear it in my phone, and it's too loud in the speakers. 808 was out of key. I felt like the 808 was weak. Yeah, there's something a little bit wrong with the 808. I would have liked to see what you did in your project.